Welcome to my little video about the deeds in Vermintide 2 and the Rework Idea. First of all, if someone wants to react to the video, you are welcome to do so, but please link my video and comment below this video so I can watch your reaction too. I divided the video into a few chapters. If you're not interested in one or so, you can just jump to the next. So let's get started. I really love the deeds and weekly events in the game, but I find it a shame that these can only be played with an existing group and no random players can join to suffer with us. Now to our first point. How it is now. Currently, the deeds have 4 difficulties: Recruit, Veteran, Champion and Legend. A deed can have up to 3 modifiers. The picture here shows you a scroll for 1 modifier. A scroll is also displayed for 2 modifiers, but now it's unrolled. Only with the difficulty champion does it have to be consistent and still look like it only have 1 modifier. Now with 3 modifiers, the scroll is open and looks very classy. Now let's switch to the deed modifiers. First we have Abduction. With the effect, players will not respawn after being put out of action. Back to basics. Hero power limited to starting value removes all talents, properties and traits from the player. I was really happy when I got this once, only to find out that we couldn't do it with 2 people on the very easy map Synod of Decay on Legend. Deprivation. No pickups will be found in the level. I think that even applies to loot cubes. Nurgle's What? Players take periodical damage over time. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Elite enemies have double health and deal double damage. Seek and Destroy. Special spawns with much higher frequency and in larger numbers. Send in the next wave. Increased frequency of hordes spawning. Sudden death. Getting knocked down instantly kills the player. The Vanguard. Replace all roaming enemies with more powerful foes. Now that we listed the deed modifiers, let's do the same with the weekly event modifiers. Act on instinct, my favorite of all. You must rely on your own eyes and ears. All HUD elements and outlines are disabled. But that's not quite true anymore, since you can now see your hit points via tab. Furthermore, at the beginning of the year, you could see the outlines like the crosshairs, which annoyed me so much that I first complained in the forum. But then came the great news that this is a bug. Black Powder Surprise. Skaven bomb carriers infest the level. Highly unstable. Kill them from afar. Curse of Comradeship. Straying from your party slows you and slaps your health. Closeness advised. Hugs optional. More specials. Increase the maximum number of specials that can be active at the same time. Reynolds' Sparkling Gift. The Trickster God periodically blesses one of your party with a ticking time bomb. Don't bunch up. Send in the next wave. Increases the frequency of hordes spawning. Special Delivery. Carry the package to the end of the level. Loner expecting it. So don't leave it behind. The shit explodes and kills everyone if it isn't picked up. The Darkness of Heresy. You are swamped in supernatural gloom. Hold your torch high and carry light into the darkness. Fiench Twins. Strong enemies split into 2 weaker enemies on death. This is funny because the 2 little enemies that come out can attack you immediately. And loot rats split into 2 rat oaks. That's very funny, especially on the Skittergates bridge. Now let's talk about the difficulty of the deeds and the weekly events. I created this chart based on my opinion and divided it from S+ to E. This will also be important for later. First we have back to the basics. This is an absolute nightmare on Legend and especially on the map Synod of Decay. That's why I give it a S+. Abduction is annoying, as once you are dead you can't help anymore, but you can still yell at your teammates that there's a packmaster in a horde, therefore S. Sudden death is annoying because instead of going down, you die instantly. Therefore always use your healing items, and for that it gets the rank A. Harder, better, faster, stronger. It just makes them stronger. They do more damage and they last longer. Almost sounds like a song from Daft Punk. Therefore, A. Seek and destroy. More specialists. That makes the game very intense, so a B. Send in the next wave. Just more cannon fodder. C. Weapons with cleave are great against it. The Vanguard. Only more stronger opponents standing around. If you don't get too close to them, they won't come to you, while hordes advisable, so a D. Nurgle SWAT. Temporary hit points should make up for that, another D. Separation. No pickups, so E. So, those were the modifiers from the deeds, and now to the weekly events. Special delivery. Also toxic. It will explode if left for too long, so S. Curse of Comradeship. Can get bad when somebody thinks to run away. The damage from this is really bad, therefore S. Siege Twins. Opponents split into two smaller ones. Really funny, only after the Skitator final. B. Act on instinct. No hut, no problem. Solid B. Reynolds Sparkling Gift. Get thrown around. Also B. Black Powder Surprise. Now the rats ignite the barrels. Last B. More specials. Gets a C. Send in the next wave. We had that before, still a C. The Darkness of Heresy. It's just dark, you can still hear the opponents. D. My rework. My first idea would be a deed quick play, so you can suffer with randoms. Up to 3 modifiers are randomly selected and even 4 in very rare cases. And the map is of course also random. DLC maps are also possible. Now to our own deeds. So everyone has 4 random deed modifiers and no duplicates. After each mission you get these refilled with further random modifiers. Every 25 deeds completed, there's an additional slot for a modifier up to a total of 8. Heavy modifiers shouldn't show up as often as lighter ones. The characters are therefore displayed with 2 slots for deed modifiers each. The host selects a map and can disable deed modifier slots from other players with 1 click. This decides how many modifiers the map is played with. If a map with more than 4 modifiers is started, it cannot be reached via quick play. If the session is empty, the host can distribute any deeds he has to the other characters as well. Normally there are 8 slots in total, however 4 are locked, 1 for each character. If these slots are not disabled, players can add their own deed modifiers before the game starts. Now a quick vote begins. There are 3 interesting ways to do this one. Number 1. 75% to 25%. At 50% agreement, the modifier is not accepted. Number 2. First 50% will win, both positively and negatively. Number 3. The host has 40% voting rights. All others have 20%. The highest percentage wins. Personally, I'm for the last one. Loot. Loot is an important topic, at least for the people who still open boxes. So let's take a quick look at the difficulty chart again. Each deed modifier gets a loot modifier. The 1 box of the mission is unchanged. The difficulties are divided as follows. S plus 1.5, S 1.25, A 1, B 0.8, C 0.6, D 0.5 and E 0.4. You get the boxes at the following points. Peasant at 0.2, Commoner at 0.4, Merchant at 0.5, Soldier at 0.6, General at 0.8, Emperor at 1.0. The difficulty is summed up. Once you get past modifier 2, crits cost double. Example, abduction is 1.25, sudden death is 1 plus curse of comradeship with 1.25 is a total of 3.5. Minus 2 is 1.5, that's now 2 Emperor crates, 1.5 remains and is divided, so that's 0.75 and thus a soldier's crate. And of course the mission box. So you get 2 Emperor crates, a soldier crate and whatever is left over from the mission. Is that too much? No, if you made it, you really deserve it. Eat ideas. Of course, I also have a few ideas for my own deeds. I would like to thank my friend who helped me with this one. So one idea is cursed accuracy. When shooting, there's a 50 to 70% chance that the shot is warped a few pixels to the right, left, top or bottom. Another one is, there are some big ones. A monster spawns for each possible monster spawn in the mission. Double trouble. Instead of one monster, 2 will spawn. That only counts towards normal monsters and not bosses. Scratched. There's no temp health in this mission. Armored. Enemies have a higher cleave resistance. Bleeding. If you get hit, you get the bleed effect for a short amount of time. Special hordes. All hordes are made out of clan rats, raiders or Morgors. The bigger the better. More enemies in hordes. The beefier the better. Hordes now contains armored enemies. Poisoned cure. You lose 20% of your hit points after a short amount of time after you use healing items. Sticky ground. Your speed is reduced to walking speed. Nurgle's blood. Enemies leave puddles that are acidic. First special. When you use your ability, a random enemy appears behind you. Drunk. You have a shaky walk. Sometimes your movement will be briefly reversed. Rearguard. More roaming enemies. Processed. Some elites are processed, do massive damage, have more mass and can take a lot of damage. The ideas from the Halloween event. I really like that one. Bonus modifiers. I played Vermintide 1 a while ago. In the game there were timed bonuses, which you can get from the mission board. I like these very much. I don't know if I saw them all, but there were a more melee damage bonus, a less damage taken bonus, a more stamina bonus and a prolonged stagger bonus. It would be great if this was added to the deed modifiers as well, but in the sense that this doesn't make the rewards any better, but rather subtract 1 loot point for each modifier. This is for people who find the deeds too difficult so they can complete them more easily. Also, everyone should have them so they don't count towards the deed modifier limit. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is what I would wish me for a deed rework. You may or may not agree with me. In any case, let me know in the comments. I'm curious how you see this topic. And Fatshark, if you watched this video, I want to thank you for the great game and hope we get a deed rework in the future. Have a nice day, everyone.